See that smile.
Yeah, and exactly.
It's like that smile.
My name is Martin Joseph, and I'm 26. I graduated from the City University of New York, Medgar Evers College in Brooklyn, New York, and I finished with a bachelor's degree in biology. And I was this close to getting my minor degree in chemistry, but that's in the past now.
We good?
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up?
Good seeing you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. Okay, so people are applying, so we're just going to get straight to it. People are applying right now, they're anxious. What type of scores do I need to get accepted? So do you have a reference for us for the DAT?
Okay, well, I'll talk about mine, and I'll talk about what I generally feel is an acceptable score. For my DAT, I didn't really do too well, but hey.
Yeah, you're in dental school.
Exactly.
That's pretty, you did pretty good.
Yeah.
And what are the PAT section?
For the PAT, I did considerably well, so I'll say
PAT.
this, PAT.
And what about GPA?
GPA, I'll say also this. GPA was good, so yeah.
It was good. Well, you're in dental school. And you'd be surprised how different ranges people are getting and still
True.
get accepted in dental school.
True.
Some people have like what you consider like, I felt like they were low grades, but they're in dental school and they're doing really well too.
Yeah.
And some people are having great grades, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But, so, how did you prep for the DAT? So you clearly, was it a lot of work? Did you have a schedule?
During the summer I can remember a date I started, June 1st, 2015, I can never forget that date. I was doing around 5 hours a day, Monday through Friday. I used what most people use these days, Coursera. That is Coursera, Chad's videos. I also used the DAT Destroyer, and also I used Crack the DAT, but that's only for the PAT section. And then I watched some videos on YouTube for the PAT section, and that helped me.
Yeah, that did well. You did well.
Yeah, I did well. It took me. I was supposed to take it in October, but I didn't feel confident, so I paid extra and moved it to December.
Yeah.
So altogether, I would say I studied critically for 4 months because I still had undergrad classes.
Yeah.
So I'll say I focused mainly for 4 months because that's what worked best for me.
So it took you about 4 months to
Exactly.
prep. And when you applied, when was your application? When you submitted your application?
Okay, one thing I always tell people is that I always try to apply as early as possible. I applied the second week of June.
So you took a year off to prep.
Exactly.
And then you applied right
early.
early.
I graduated in 2016.
Yeah.
But 2016 June or summer of 2016. So then I started applying like in June, like right maybe June started. I just applied. So I took a year off from school, but that was the year I applied. So
So technically, like you already submitted your application and everything, but some people like it is a year off. But it kind of isn't at the same time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you took it took you 4 months to prep for the DAT and the applications and the recommendation letters.
Yeah.
And that must have been like the recommendation letter is always a tough one.
It was really tough. Like I had to send a lot of emails, go to the professors, go to the mentor, to the dentist, go back and forth until I got the recommendation that I needed.
Okay. So when did you realize you wanted to be a dentist? Or like when did you realize I'm gonna apply to dental school? Okay. There's a background story to that?
Okay, well, back home, I moved to the US in 2010.
Yeah.
But back home, I always had this phobia for dentists, but I was kind of interested, just had a little bit of interest. But when I came here, it's funny because in undergrad, everyone was all about medical school this, medical school that, maybe pharmacy school. I didn't really think about dentistry, although I had an interest in it. So there was a day one of my friends were just talking about careers, and he said, "Oh, why don't you look into dentistry?" I was like, "Oh, I never really thought about it critically." So I went online, Googled, watched videos like this, and I became interested. So that was in 2011. So since then, I started like exploring the possibility of being a dentist.
Yeah.
And here I am today.
Yeah, that's great. Like I feel like there's a lot of underrepresentations of dentistry on the web, on the internet. Yeah, the people like you go to med school because they really don't know what's in it for them in dentistry, and that's why we're here. We're gonna get you that. So the hot topic right now is about the interview process. A lot of people are going through the interview. A lot of people are nervous about it, and you certainly nailed your interview. And you said you had different interviews, multiple interviews.
Yeah.
So can you tell us how you prep for it and what type of advice you have for people that are expecting their interview right now?
Okay. Luckily for us at Buffalo here, we didn't have the multiple mini interviews that we all had in different schools. So that's a good thing. But this is in general for both the application interviews here and in other places. Always try to be confident in yourself. Um, Always try to elaborate on the questions. Forget about what has happened in the past. Focus on what is happening right there. Don't think about nothing else. Be confident in your answers and also in your questions. Always have questions to ask. That's very, very important because they're trying to see how you could engage in a conversation. So always, like I said before, be confident, know what you're talking about, back up your answers, and always smile. Smile, maintain eye contact. I heard someone told me maintain 60 to 70% of eye contact, but I would say you define what you mean, what percentage you feel is good enough for you. So always try to maintain eye contact, smile, show them that you really want to come to the school.
Basically.
Yeah, be engaged.
Let me see that smile.
Yeah, and exactly.
Yeah, it's like that smile. And like that smile gets you down school.
Yeah. Right.
And also one more thing, always research about the school you're interviewing at. That is very, very important because you don't want to go to. I made a mistake when I came here. I asked a question and I said something about BU instead of UB. And I'm glad I'm here. So at the end of that, I'm here. So but always be careful about what you say during your interview.
Yeah. So these are very important, honest opinions about the interview.
Yeah. So
when you said you had 6 different interviews, what was your how did you make your final selection? Why did you choose University of Buffalo?
Okay. First of all, during the interview process, I narrowed it down to basically 2 to 3 schools, which UB was always number 1.
Yeah.
But
why was UB number 1?
Yeah, okay. It was number 1 because my reason for being a dentist is to basically explore the relationship between dental care and the rest of the body or the general health.
Yeah.
So I know UB have a lot of background in research, and they recently discovered links between diabetes and periodontal disease.
Oh, that's
so
interesting.
and that was a huge decision, a critical point in me deciding that UB is going to be the school. But when we came for the interview, I saw that there's a lot of diversity in the classes in the school, and also they had the new lab.
Yeah, the pre-clinic, definitely a bonus.
Yeah, it was the pre-clinical lab. It was under construction at that time, but now we're the first class to use it.
Yeah.
So
and we're using it really recently.
Yeah, exactly, and we're really using it and messing it up. But that's a good thing.
We get yelled at. We get emails every week.
Every day. I'll say every day about being clean. So that's the main reason why I chose Buffalo.
And so Buffalo. And when you were applying in general, what was the criteria you had in mind? Was it like proximity, price, cost, or what type of things you had in mind when you were applying to each school?
Price, I wasn't really thinking of the price. I mean, it was in the back of my mind, but that wasn't the main motivation. I didn't want to be in New York City, first of all.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't bother to apply to schools like maybe NYU or Columbia, because I wanted to. I moved to the city in 2010, so I lived there since then. Went to undergrad there. I wanted something different, somewhere quiet.
Yeah.
Somewhere that it's somewhere that's far from New York City, so I don't get distracted by going home.
Yeah.
So Buffalo was always one of my main choices because, and also cost too.
Yeah, cost is definitely. So you're a New York resident, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so now so do you have any suggestions for pre-dental students or people that are just interested in general? Like, because you said you weren't so sure about dentistry in the first place, but what type of advice do you have for them?
First of all, I will say this, and it's very important. Be careful where you get your advice from. I'm going to look at the camera and say, be careful where you get your advice from, because a lot of times you go to an advisor or a student and you tell them my GPA is a 3.1. What do you think? They'll tell you, oh no, you can't be a dentist, you can't go to medical school, you can't go to pharmacy school, look for something else. I'll tell you that I went to a program in a dental school in the summer of 2014, and there was a dentist that she just finished, and she said she got into dental school with a 2.5 GPA.
Wow.
So that's a 2.5 GPA right there. I had this, which is really hard on a 2.5 GPA, but she's a dentist today. So be careful where you get your advice from. Also, I would say while in school, don't just go to class and go home. Don't do that. Always try to engage with people. Always try to mingle. Try to get information. Do your shadowing as early as possible. Do your volunteering as early as possible. Try to do research. It helps. It's not a must, but it helps. Anything helps. So try to engage in your community, do things around, try to network with your professors, let them know you, because they're going to come in handy when it gets to the time to write a recommendation. So a lot of things you could do. Nothing is a waste. Even if you're volunteering at a shelter, it's still something. It's still something. Even if anything you're doing, always try to, just try to put your eyes on the. Okay, that's me.
So like, no, but like, so basically, whatever you do, just indulge yourself in. Yeah. And there's gonna be like some information that you'll learn from
exactly,
it.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. So, well, thank you so much for all the information. I think that was an amazing interview. Thank you for coming. Yeah. And then we'll see you in future videos, right?
Yeah, I have to go back to my study now.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.